Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're embarking on a high-speed review. We're literally going to descend from the giant macro world that we can see every day, straight down into the invisible, microscopic mechanisms that actually run it. We're going to unlock the hidden factories inside every single living thing. Let's dive in. Did you know that absolutely every living thing is made up of cells? I mean, the average human alone is made of roughly 30 trillion of them. Just look at the sheer scale we're dealing with here. On one side, we have this massive multi-ton whale. On the other, zooming way in, is a tiny invisible bacterium. But here's the crazy part. Despite that astronomical size difference, they share the exact same microscopic foundation. Here's our roadmap for this review. First, the building blocks of life, then the anatomy of the cell, followed by the organelles. After that, we'll compare plant and animal cells, check out the power of differentiation, and finally, we'll wrap up with an essential exam review to get you ready. All right, Section 1, the building blocks of life. You can think of cells as the individual bricks constructing the vast building of life. Every single living organism is composed of these basic units. They're the absolute smallest, most fundamental structures capable of performing actual life processes, things like growth, metabolism, and reproduction. Basically, without these microscopic bricks, the entire macrostructure just collapses. Moving on to Section 2, anatomy of the cell. First up is the protoplasm. This is the living material right inside the cell. Think of this as the bustling city limits of our cellular factory. As you can see labeled here, it's made up of three distinct areas: the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. This whole space is a highly dynamic environment where all of life-sustaining processes are actively coordinated. Guarding that city is the plasma membrane. It's a selectively permeable barrier, basically acting as boundary control. Notice those bold green arrows flowing inward? That's essential nutrients being allowed in. And the red arrows flowing outward? That's waste products being pushed out. This constant directional flow ensures the internal environment stays perfectly stable, a balanced state we call homeostasis. Now, once you pass that security gate, you enter the cytoplasm. This is the jelly-like substance filling up the cell, excluding that central nucleus. Imagine this as the actual factory floor. See all those specific proteins, enzymes, and sugars floating around in suspension? This is exactly where all those crucial metabolic reactions take place. Section 3, organelles, the cellular machines. So you can think of organelles as the tiny organs of the cell. We have the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which synthesizes and transports proteins. Then there are vacuoles, used for storage and maintaining turgor pressure in plants. But pay really close attention to the mitochondria. They are the ultimate energy powerhouses. Notice how inputs like glucose and oxygen flow right into it, and then it outputs a powerful burst of ATP. That ATP is completely usable cellular energy. Up next, Section 4, plant versus animal cells. It turns out not all cellular factories use the exact same blueprints. Looking at the plant cell on the left, notice the thick, rigid cell wall, the chloroplasts used for photosynthesis, and that really large central vacuole. But over on the right, the animal cell completely lacks a cell wall. It's much more flexible and contains structures called centrioles. These structural differences perfectly match their biological lifestyles. Plants absolutely need that rigidity to stand tall, while animals need flexibility to move around. Section 5, the power of differentiation. Differentiation is the incredible process where generic cells alter their production lines to become specialized. Following the sequence here, we start at step 1 with a basic, unspecialized cell. As we move to step 2, the cell physically alters its shape and its internal structure. And by step 3, it's achieved a highly specialized function. It might become a long wire-like nerve cell to transmit electrical signals, or maybe a fibrous muscle cell. It's a brilliant biological division of labor. Finally, Section 6, essential exam review. Okay, here's a super frequent exam mistake you'll want to avoid: confusing organelle functions. Let's untangle that right now. On the left is the mitochondria. Whenever you see this, you need to immediately think energy production, or ATP. Contrast that with ribosomes over on the right. Their exclusive domain is protein synthesis. Keep those two completely separate in your mind, and you'll save yourself a ton of lost points. Let's look at a worked question. Explain why cells are said to be the building blocks of life. When you see this on the test, remember to use this exact phrasing. Cells are the basic structural and functional units of life. Highlight those words. They are the smallest individual units that make up an organism and perform all necessary life processes. Let's do one more real exam scenario. Name the 3 parts that make up the protoplasm of a cell. Lock these 3 in as they pop up. Number 1, the cell membrane. Number 2, the cytoplasm. And number 3, the nucleus. Easy points. Let's quickly run through a high-speed summary. Cells are the basic units performing all essential processes. The protoplasm is that living, dynamic trio made up of the membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. Organelles, like the mitochondria, act as specialized internal machines. And finally, differentiation creates a complex division of labor, perfectly connecting those microscopic organelles all the way back up to the giant macroorganism. And that brings us to the end of our review today. But before you go, I want to leave you with a rather provocative thought. Zooming way into the nucleus, look closely at that glowing strand of DNA. If every single cell in your body starts out with the exact same genetic blueprint, what exactly triggers that blueprint to suddenly build a pulsing heart muscle cell in one place and an electrical nerve cell in another? Seriously, how does the factory actually know when to change its production line? That is the profound mystery of genetics, and it's something I really hope you're eager to dive into next. Thanks for learning with me today.